drown in the empty pool of life. My soul is flooded with anger and strife. Dry eyes full of tears. Happiness is only a facade. Accepting there's only agony and despair is now gone. Echoes and prayers have no place to land. So my dreams turn silent and slip from my hands. So as you wake me from my nightmarish dreams, listen loudly my silent screams. Echoes and prayers have no place to land. So my dreams turn silent and slip from my hands. So as you wake me from my nightmarish dreams, listen loudly my silent screams. In my mind, a world of confusion, hoping and wishing you would trust my delusion. Cold and heavy, I throw at your feet my broken heart with barely a beat. With barely a beat. With barely a beat. In my mind, a world of confusion, hoping and wishing it was just my delusion. Cold and heavy, I throw at your feet my broken heart with barely a beat.
Hey y'all, it's Morning Label Nina. Nina. I didn't even say my name. Anyway. Okay, so I was gonna put this video out yesterday, but out of respect for Idaho 4, out of respect for Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, Xana, Bethany, and Dylan, and their families. Not that I thought that, you know, it would take away from what day it was or anything, but out of my own respect, I chose to put this video out today because yesterday belonged to them. Okay, so we've done 3 parts to this, and I want to say that there's a couple of reasons I chose to do this series, and number one is I watched every episode that I could find on this case so many years ago. I mean, you know, from Dateline to 2020 to 48 Hours to, you know, it was such an impactful case to me. And that's before, I mean, I've always liked true crime. I think the first true crime book I ever read was Helter Skelter. And I think I was in like 6th grade when I read it. So, yeah, I think it had to be like chiseled out on a stone for me to read it. No, anyway. It was in the 80s when I read it. I'm a huge Ann Rule fan. I'm a huge Joe McGinnis fan. I guess Joe McGinnis is what got me really into like the blood splatter and, you know, the way that they can do the forensics with the Jeffrey McDonald case and everything, you know, and the Jeffrey McDonald case is maybe one that I do, because that one, I think that was the second book I ever read. And I couldn't put it down. I actually read that book while I was like in the tub. I mean, it's an excellent book. So, anyway, Carol Dodge. Man, mad respect for that lady. Coming from a mother that knows the loss of a child, the respect I have for her tenacity, for her unwavering just belief in doing the right thing. You know, she could have let Chris sit there and rot and say, okay, he was a part of it. He may not be the one that did the actual unaliving, killing, but he was there. He could have helped her. He could have, you know, she could have found a way to justify in her mind him being in prison. Um, but the thing about it is the only way that we have justice is if it's real justice. And that means for the defendant also. The only way that it's justice is if the right person is in prison. So I would have loved to have met her. Unfortunately, I do know that she died of cancer. I don't know that I'm sad about that. I'm sad she died from cancer. But I don't know that I'm sad that she left this world. Because if I die, it's a win-win for me. If I stay here, I get to enjoy my life down here with my daughter and my grandkids, my community, my true crime community family. But if I die, I get to see my son. So it's a win-win for me either way. If I live, I'm good. If I die, I'm good. You know, I'm not, that is in no way of any kind of, I'm in no kind of mental state, no kind of, nothing like that, okay? I'm just saying that she got reunited with Angie. So, you know, and I hope that wherever people get reunited, because I won't get into that, you know, but wherever people get reunited, I hope that Angie was waiting on her at the gates. So I know that David's going to be the first person I hunt. Sorry, God. I mean, you know, I know God's always first, but God may have to take a back seat to that one. So, and he understands that. But, boy, that went down a rabbit hole. I'm so sorry. But I'm not going to delete it. I'm not going to edit it, because with me, you get the real me. I don't edit. I don't do anything. So, if I muck it up, I just muck it up, and you accept me for my muck-ups. So, we know that we've gotten Chris out of prison after 20 years. But that still did not satisfy Carol Dodge. Carol Dodge wanted him completely exonerated. She wanted it all gone. She did not want him to have anything hanging over his head that could prevent him from getting a job, that could prevent him from living the fullest life that he could live after they had robbed him 20 years. After they had robbed 20 years of justice to Angie. So she kept fighting. And the videos, one of the videos I'm going to share, and there's not going to be a lot of videos, but there's going to be a few. But one of the videos I'm going to share is her talking to Cece with, I think it's Paradon, with the IGG. And the thing about it is, when she went to Cece, you know, there's so many people trying to get it done. But Cece had so much respect for her, just fire under her soul to make it things right, that she dove in. And so I'm going to show you that. And then I'm going to show you the clip of them finding out who the real perpetrator is. And I think I've already showed you the clip of Carol Dodge telling the perp, the killer, the murderer, the real murderer, that he needs to, that he needs to rot in hell. I'm not going to edit that out either. But anyway, y'all excuse me with my glasses. My other one's broke, and these are bifocals. So if you see me sort of trying to adjust, it's because I've never had bifocals, and I forget that I have to sort of arrange to look through the bifocals, so I do apologize. I'm not like, have a tick or something going. Anyway. So anyway, I've already shown you the video of pretty much her victim impact statement to the real murderer. And I'm not even going to say his name. I'm not even going to. I think the only reason that I've shown him is because of her doing her impact statement. And the thing about it is, if you'll notice in that video, she looks at him and she says his name and she tells him, look up at me. Don't be looking at that table. You look at me. And she deserved that. She deserved for him to look at her. She deserved for him to acknowledge her. And I don't care if he says, well, I didn't go over there to do it. I just went over there to SA or... No, okay. I hope you rot in hell. Anyway, that's all I'm going to give him. He's in prison. He's done it. It's a closed case, and he doesn't even deserve a name. As far as Chris. So Chris gets out of prison. He gets exonerated. And, you know, this is that cheering moment. And then he helps get the wrongful conviction into legislation and gets it signed. Then he gets $11 million from Idaho Falls. And you think, wow, you know, he's finally made it. Yes, he gave up 20 years, but he explained it the best way I could ever hear. He said, I did a job. I went to prison for 20 years for a crime I didn't do. Consider it a retirement plan for his $11 million. So he's married, got his $11 million, and his wife had always wanted a Corvette. And in the middle of them going through a divorce, she has a wreck in the Corvette that he bought her and gets killed. And you wonder, what did Chris Tapp ever do? What did he ever do to be a 20-year-old high school dropout, couch surfing, not having any direction in his life? To go to prison and lose 20 years of his life. So he's sponsoring a racing company in Las Vegas. I'm sure he takes his money and, you know, he's got it going on because for his love of cars. He's in Las Vegas. And him and a guy get in an altercation. And Chris gets killed. 47 years old. 47 years old. 20 years in prison. He was 20 when he went to prison. So we're going to put him, you know, what, 40 years of his life accounted for. Boom, right there. So he had 7 years. 7 years. To be exonerated, get married, have his wife get killed in the car that he bought her, and then he loses his life. Sorry, it's the saddest thing ever. They basically took his life. So they basically gave him the death penalty. Because they took 20 years that maybe he could have had a life. Instead, they give him a 7-year life. So, I'm going to put the clips in. And I hope that this has touched y'all. Because I will say right now, Hug the ones you love. Be there for the ones you love. Be a friend. Remember, to have a friend, you have to be a friend. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed the next minute. So always remember that. And know that at any time, there's someone with a false confession, someone coerced, someone lied to, someone unjustly getting sent to prison, a victim not receiving justice. But also remember the Carol Dodges, the families. People can say all day long that the families aren't a victim. I disagree. Sometimes I think that in crimes like this, everybody wants to talk about the survivors or whatever. The way I look at that, you might have 2 or 3 people that their lives were spared. But sometimes there's no survivors. So, I'm Morning Label Nina. This is Morning Label Discussions. I do hope that y'all have enjoyed it. Not enjoyed it because it's a roller coaster of a case. And Sirius Black had said that she wished I would take requests. So, if there's something you want covered, if you have something that you want me to research, let me know. I'll take requests. Give it to me. I'll do it. I'll research it. I'll cover it. Whatever. Just let me know. So, thank y'all so much. And just always remember that, you got to have real justice for it to be justice. And that means getting the right defendant, And that's not talking about the Idaho 4 case, because I'm not even going to debate that. This is for Angie Dodge, Carol Dodge, and Chris Tapp. So, thank y'all. I sure do appreciate y'all.
Excited to see you. Really, it's such a pleasure to meet you.
I can see Angie in your face. Sorry.
When you have a child that's murdered, life just gets shattered. And there's no way to put the pieces back together.
I wanted to hear a little bit about Angie, what you could tell me about her.
She was not only my baby, but she was my only daughter. She really went through some hard times when she was younger because she was big for her age.
Yeah, was she 5'11" or 6 foot?
Mm-hmm. And so she was bullied. And so when she would see other people being bullied or being messed with, she would get right in the person's face and say, "You leave them alone." Okay, we're going to turn right here, left.
Man, this is beautiful. Look at the light.
I grew up out here.
You did, so you're a native.
Yes. My mom and dad were really poor, and my mother raised 5 girls with no bathroom.
What?
We had an outhouse.
Oh my. So is this her block?
Yes. Okay, this is it. Here, this was, the backyard, and there was a chain link fence. Angie was at my house that night until 20 minutes after 10. She moved out 3 weeks before.
Only 3 weeks before?
3 weeks before, and one of the reasons why she moved out is because she disobeyed a house rule. I was so grateful that she had come over because I hadn't seen her for 3 weeks.
Oh, that was the first time?
That was the first time.
Since she moved out?
Yes.
Oh.
And the night that she came over and I rocked her and I said, I'm so glad you're not mad at me anymore. And she just looked up and she said, not even in a blue moon. So the next day, that's when they told me that Angie had been found dead.
Poor Carol had been trying to find her daughter's killer for 22 years.
There is one person that killed my daughter. That's what the DNA shows.
So Carol is not going to give up, and I want to be the one to help her.
One of the fortunate things in this case is that police preserved the evidence in a basement evidence storage room. And what was waiting in that basement was the ultimate clue in identifying Angie Dodge's killer. As the science progresses, a DNA sample that was uninterpretable becomes suddenly clear as day.
This is the guy we've been looking for 23 years. So we'll catch murderer.
There's a bank. There he is.
Yep, gonna be coming out.
Hey everyone, how are you guys doing?
We're scared. We're apprehensive about what we're gonna hear.
So I guess we can go over it on my screen.
She begins to lay out all of the work that she had done on the report.
And that makes him much less likely to be the subject. They only share centimorgans. Definitely not what we expect. Major problem.
I'm really expecting bad news. So we're kind of sitting here listening to this, going, when is it coming?
Then we might never find them.
She just kept us on the edge of our seat. It was excruciating.
And
You're really adding a lot of drama for us on this.
I'm not adding it. I'm feeling it. We've got him.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Our jaws about dropped. It was incredible. Now, we don't take anything for granted at this point, and we have to confirm all this information. But to have a lead like that after...
I'm just trying to be the best person I can be. You know, I'm trying to blend the two people that I want to be together. The guy that was in prison and the guy before prison. You know, we all make mistakes, good or bad. We may do things right or wrong, but I'm just trying to be the best person I can.
So you've moved on, but you're still a little pissed inside. You're a little annoyed.
Of course I will be. These people robbed my life for 20 years.
That's what a free man looks like.
I will always be mad. I will always have that little bit of, tension or resentment because of what these people did to me. I wish I could say, I have moved forward and I have moved on, because again, look at all the things that I've been able to accomplish, since the exoneration, with the compensation bill here in Idaho, Oregon. I've helped across the country trying to help pass some bills for the wrongfully convicted, for the next individual.
What difference has the settlement made to your life, the $11 million?
Highs and lows. Honest truth, highs and lows. Everybody thinks, money makes things better. People around this, the community and parts of the state of Idaho probably know that I buy a few cars here or there because, now I've gotten a little bit of money. But, I tell people all the time, I did a job that nobody else wanted to do. I went to prison wrongfully convicted, so I had to survive and do a job in prison for 20 years. It's retirement money.
She was driving one of those cars, right?
Yeah, she always wanted a Corvette. So again, once we got the settlement money from the city of Idaho Falls, we bought her a Corvette.
There's something foundational about the way human beings are. Be careful, you might get what you want someday, and watch out then.
Yeah. Again, at the end of the day, like I've told people, and even people in prison, I told them the only thing I ever wanted was to die free.